Good morning. Welcome to the premium video forecast discussion for Friday, December 29th, 2023. It's the last Friday of 2023. The next time we do videos will be in a new year, which will be on Tuesday. In the meantime, I know a lot of people are focusing quite a bit on the MJO, and as typical this time of year, people are canceling winter and all that good stuff. So, what is going on with the MJO? Well, when we take a look at the current conditions right now, okay, we are in, let's see, a phase one, and we're moving towards phase two and then phase three, and then, well, either goes neutral or it goes into, well, neutral again, or neutral, or a little bit of phase four. Oh, all the way through phase 4 and 5 and 6. Everyone's been pulling up this, canceling winter. The GFS takes you through phase 3 and then most likely through phase 4. The CFS, always switching back and forth, is going from phase 3, phase 4, and 5. What do all these phases mean? Well, basically what we're doing here is tracking tropical convection. Now, the forecast of the MJO can be extremely volatile. So it's never a good idea to make wholesale seasonal forecasts on the MJO alone, because what you see today could be far different by tomorrow. You see, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense to put all your chips into the MJO forecast, especially once you get out towards the end of this forecast period, and especially once you get into this whole monthly projection. But you can see the general idea here in the long range European, taking it from phase 3, a weak phase 4, and then towards neutral state, and eventually back towards phase 7 and possibly 8 later on. So this is a progressive MJO with a weakening signal in phases 4, 5, and 6. Now, I'm sure that you will look back to December and even during the fall months and say, hey, look, the MJO in phases 4, 5, and 6, and even 3 is very warm. And that is where we can really dive into our conversation. You see, the MJO forecast is not simply pick the phase, there's your weather. Wish it was that easy, but it's not. It's a moving dartboard. A moving dartboard, depending on where you are, what time of year it is. And the overall theme here is that usually phase 8 can be rather chilly, but not always. See, in the summer, we have a phase 8 that is rather warm for the eastern United States. And it can be rather volatile in the fall. You got your phase 5, which right now, if you got phase 5 in the winter, would be rather warm. In the fall, is rather cool. So why am I showing you this? Well, because the MJO is not simply a point click, there's your forecast idea. You have to take the MJO, and it's a little bit of an art, to be honest with you. All right, because you have to take the MJO and you have to place it into the environment that it's currently in, which is El Nino. And then you have to make considerations to what you're dealing with in the rest of the atmospheric environment. So let's just say if we had a phase 8, which when we see a phase 8 and it's January, you're going to think, hey, it's going to be cold. Well, you might be wrong. Why? Well, did you take a look at the polar vortex? Is it strong? Oh, it's strong. Well, guess what? Good luck trying to get cold air down to the mid latitudes, regardless of what phase it is. So you have to kind of back off on those cold anomalies. Well, what about precipitation? Well, phase 5 here, let's see here, right in this time period. Well, it's pretty dry on the mid-Atlantic coast. But you also have to consider El Nino. So your subtropical jet stream is stronger, it's more active, but the MJO is kind of fighting against it. So maybe the short waves aren't quite as strong, but it certainly isn't bone dry. Meanwhile, in phase 8 of your MJO, Well, that would suggest dry conditions, but you have to add in your El Nino influence, which is an active storm track over the southern tier. You add that in with your temperatures, and hey, look, this is why when we talk about phase 8 and 1 in the winter, it's your best phase for winter storms because it more consistently increases the potential, not guarantee, of a winter storm happening. Now, does that mean you cannot have a winter storm in phases, let's say, 3 or 2 or even 5? No, it's just a heck of a lot more difficult. Now, what you want to do when you're looking at the MJO is study it with what else is going on in the environment. So when you look at, let's see, the December, January, February time period, right? And you're looking at phase 3 and you're looking at the mild conditions here, you also have to consider the fact that we're moving into January, and during the time period when we have phase 3, well, you're moving towards the middle of the end of the month. So you might want to kind of mix in phase 3 of this plot with phase 3 of this plot and kind of back off on the extreme cold idea, but there's still going to be a good chance of polar air masses coming in. See, it's not just a click paste. That's the forecast. There you go. And while this is all happening, you are having the influence of the major stratospheric warming and the polar vortex, which we've been talking about in nauseum for the past couple of weeks and now days. And well, you get the idea. So when you're using the MJO composite, and this isn't just this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's composite lags you can study and all sorts of different percentiles. What you don't want to do is say phase 3 and winter because, well, that might be a bit of a mistake if you fall more under this regime. Now, look, granted, if you're stuck in phase 5 and 6 for much of winter, well, you're going to have to get your snow elsewhere. But when we take a look at the forecast here, pretty much all the model guidance either moves through phase 5 and 6 extremely quickly or drops it into a neutral state. And by the way, neutral state is basically your background noise taking over. And that background noise would be El Nino. Why is that really important? Well, that takes us back to the satellite picture. This is the infrared satellite picture of the Pacific here. And this right here is our El Nino influence. Now, when it is in phases that are working with the El Nino, like phases 8 and 1, for example, 8, 1, 2, 3 sometimes, then you're going to see more and more enhancement of this convection and a very active subtropical jet stream and favorable conditions for East Coast cyclogenesis or storm development. It also makes the polar jet stream a little bit more favorable to have interactions, which takes us to our next discussion. So while this is all evolving here, we have several potentials. So while everyone's taking a look at the MJO for the middle of January and beyond, I suggest we keep a very keen eye on the first 2 weeks of January going forward, as we are dealing with some rather interesting conditions here. We have a clear disruption of the polar vortex and our Arctic air now coming into play more. We certainly have some very robust short waves in the subtropical jet stream. You are seeing the potential here for some nice block here building into Greenland and nice above normal heights here, and also a 50-50 low showing up here. So this storm should be something that we might want to keep an eye on over the next 10 days. Oh, and by the way, there's more than that. Let's take a look at that shortwave there with some short waves, and look, the GFS is showing something there as well. European ensembles. This is a very active pattern over the next 2 weeks. We have a pretty good block. The Pacific is, I would say, neutral. You got a nice ridge here because of all the short waves coming in from the subtropical jet stream. You kind of have a muted PNA signal. So you have this ridge here allowing cold air to come in, but it's not a dump truck of cold air, Arctic air diving into the plains, at least not yet. So we're clearly seeing support for more interesting weather. And so we're going to have to keep an eye on things, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in just a moment. So currently, our observations are such that we are having temperatures in the mid to upper 40s over the coast, some lower 50s mixed in there as well. It's a mild day with our storm from yesterday out of the area. We had a lot of drizzle and just cloudy conditions. Today we get a little bit more sunshine, so a little bit better. And we're starting to get that colder air starting to bleed in over the northern tier. You can see it over central Pennsylvania, slowly working its way in. On the latest radar and surface map from WeatherTap, you can see just low pressure systems all over the place, kind of sprinkled about with these low troughs there hanging around. That's going to keep us unsettled with these pesky showers, and that's going to generally be the theme all the way through the end of 2023 and the start of 2024, with some of these showers introducing a few more snowflakes as that cold air slowly builds in. Now, as I discussed yesterday, the reason why this cold air is taking a while to come in is because we have this positively tilted trough that is kind of lagging around the area. So all of your warm air from yesterday is out here now. Here's your primary low pressure system. Here is the broad positively tilted trough here, and here's your colder air at 850 millibars slowly bleeding its way in towards the region, and it'll slowly swing in over the next 24 hours. Meanwhile, as you can see on our infrared satellite picture, a lot of low and mid-level clouds, not really seeing any high clouds, not a lot of strong lifting here, so anything that develops in terms of showers is going to be awfully light and rather weak. So I'm really not expecting much of any type of significant precipitation. And on the water vapor satellite picture, you could see plenty of short waves here to work with, but nothing really too strong yet, nothing really organized. But these short waves are going to keep us a bit unsettled over the next couple of days. Again, not a washout. If you have any plans or anything, I wouldn't cancel them or anything of that nature. But just don't be surprised by a passing shower or flurry as we move on through the day. On our upper level winds, you can see that trough clearly taking shape here. Again, our subtropical jet stream very active, our polar jet stream becoming more amplified. And we're not there yet with our block, but we are starting to organize a gradual shift in that direction. So as we look at the uh, forecast here over the next couple of days, certainly a ton of short waves moving through. Nothing really too strong though, so that's certainly some good news as we go through New Year's Eve and day. Look, if you're heading out there for New Year's Eve, you'll need a jacket, but I don't think you'll have to do with any type of significant precipitation. Then we start to get things interesting towards the end of the week. And this shortwave here now is featuring more interaction with polar air masses. Remember, yesterday, this was well separated from this storm. Now we're starting to see more interaction here and a better potential as you move into Thursday evening of some wintry precipitation over the higher elevations. Hold off on the details. This could be something a little bit more interesting than what is being shown right now. But as you can see here, this shortwave is moving through at a pretty good clip as well. Depending on the interaction of this shortwave, that influences the evolution of the shortwave that follows here, that's in the southwest here. So we're going to have to see exactly how this one plays out. And then as this one marches through, and it will be very vigorous, it appears, it also is going to have the potential to tap into some colder air. So those of you down towards the southeast and the mountains around North Carolina, well, you could actually see a little bit of snow mixed in with this low pressure system. And of course, we still have cold air here over the mid-Atlantic. That we'll have to see exactly how this plays out with this low pressure system. Does the polar air remain separated? Does it get pulled in towards a storm? Is there greater interaction? And what type of influence does the shortwave behind that have? See, the first shortwave, if there's greater interaction pulling that cold air, that could alter the evolution of this shortwave and this shortwave that follows with plenty of polar and Arctic air just waiting in the wings to create more interaction. So we'll have to see and keep an eye on this and see how it plays out. But I wouldn't jump the gun either way, just going with a general idea of rain, snow, showers for our forecast. So let's dive into this forecast. For today, pesky shower here and there. Temperatures cold, slowly building in as far as the colder temperatures, with temperatures over the interior holding at the upper 30s to mid 40s. Along the coast, we'll be in the upper 40s to lower 50s, with colder air slowly building in. For tonight into tomorrow, again, a pesky rain or snow shower will be possible, with low temperatures ranging from the mid 20s to lower 30s over the northern interior and mid 30s to lower 40s along the coast. For tomorrow afternoon, again, a pesky shower will be possible. Look for high temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior and lower to mid 40s along the coast. On Sunday, New Year's Eve, sky cloud cover. Can't rule out an isolated shower here and there, but for the most part, tranquil conditions as you get ready to celebrate the end of 2023. Look for temperatures to range from the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. High temperatures range from the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, lower to mid 40s along the coast. On Monday, a little shortwave passes through for the start of 2024. New Year's Day will feature a few pesky rain and snow showers, but for the most part, there's sky cloud cover for most locations. Temperatures will range from the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, lower to mid 30s along the coast for lows. High temperatures will range from the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. On Tuesday, look for scattered cloud cover, tranquil conditions. Low temperatures range from the lower to mid 20s. High temperatures range from the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. On Wednesday, high pressure will slowly exit with scattered cloud cover expected. Look for low temperatures to range from the mid to upper 20s. High temperatures range from the lower to mid 40s. On Thursday, our storm approaches with increasing cloud cover and rain and snow building in towards the afternoon and evening hours. I'm going to delay this just a bit, but you kind of get the idea here on the interior snowfall and heavy rain along the coast. I'm going with more of a rain snow mix Thursday night into Friday morning along the coast. I think this cold air is going to be a little bit more aggressive than what's being shown here. Certainly, the best chance right now is for accumulation of snowfall in your Poconos, Catskills, maybe the Lehigh Valley. So we'll have to see exactly how this evolves. But as you can see here, the end of the week will be rather stormy, with low temperatures on Thursday ranging from the upper 20s to lower 30s over the northern interior, lower to mid 30s along the coast. High temperatures in the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, lower to mid 40s along the coast. And then on Friday, as that storm slowly pulls away with rain and snow showers, look for low temperatures to range from the upper teens to lower 20s over the northern interior, mid 20s to lower 30s along the coast. High temperatures in the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, lower to mid 30s along the coast. And then we watch our next storm and see what to make of that one as well. That is your forecast discussion for today. Have a wonderful day. And as always, stay safe there and have a happy new year.